If you are not familiar with critical race theory, you need to be. Critical race theory is the latest tool the radical left is using to indoctrinate the American people in their effort to slowly transform the United States into a socialist, Marxist disaster. Now, I never make claims like that unless I have the facts and the proof to back it up, so buckle up. First of all, what is critical race theory? By the way, Chris Wallace is very wrong. It's not anti-discrimination training, not at all. The birth of critical theory happened in 1937. A man named Max Horkheimer, who was a director at Germany's Frankfurt School, published a piece called Traditional and Critical Theory. In this manifesto that defined critical theory, Horkheimer claimed there is no such thing as universal truth, and that no person can be objective. Instead of truth and objectivity, Horkheimer claimed there are just narratives that compete with each other, and whichever narrative wins, that ideology is king. In a nutshell, that's critical theory. Critical theory can then be applied to society in multiple ways, to race, to gender, to sexual orientation, to the law, etc., etc. Critical race theory is an ideological offshoot of critical theory that claims everything can be reduced to race. Every person is defined by their race. No person can escape being defined by their skin color. Remember, because critical theory teaches nobody can be objective. Critical race theory teaches that white people, because of their skin color, are inherently racist. And if you think you're not racist because you don't think of or treat people of other races any differently, then you're probably a worse racist because you're implicitly biased. You can see how this racial narrative fits with critical theory in general, which teaches there's no objective truth and you can't be objective because of A, B, or C. Critical race theory then teaches that America, since it was founded by white men, is fundamentally racist. Our institutions are fundamentally racist. And because our institutions are racist, our system of government and economics and our criminal justice system are illegitimate. That's the crux of critical race theory in the United States. The purpose of this radical leftist ideology is to delegitimize the United States of America, so that socialists feel justified tearing down our system of government and imposing Marxism on us instead. Now, if this method sounds like a cult, telling people that there's something seriously wrong with them based on an immutable characteristic like skin color, and telling them that the only way to fix it is to grovel apologetically at the feet of cult leaders, probably give money, and swear eternal fealty to radical leftist ideology, yeah, it's basically a cult mentality. Couple this with the leftist idea that the public education system is the best way to indoctrinate people by brainwashing children into thinking what leftists want them to think, and you've got yourself a mess. In fact, we in the United States are in the middle of this mess. Critical race theory is being taught to your kids in school. In fact, critical race theory is being taught to teachers in education colleges so that when they graduate, they can disseminate critical race theory more easily into every classroom in the public school system. And your tax dollars are funding both. Conservatives, this is your wake-up call. Fight back against this destructive Marxist ideology. And when I say fight, I mean expose this racism and corruption. Run for school board. Become teachers. Open private schools. Homeschool your children. If that's not an option, advocate for school choice. Be involved in your child's education. Know what's in their curriculum. Make a fuss if they're being taught revisionist history and critical race theory, and teach them how to refute it. Otherwise, you'll hear the three words critical race theory, and like Chris Wallace, you'll ignorantly think it's just anti-discrimination training, when in fact, it's the left's latest attack on America and American government, and it's being fed to your kids. Now you know what it is.